great to be with you on this Wednesday, and you are with George at Growth Point Grown as you're going through life. And yeah, we are talking about back to God, and today back to God, back to our storm chaser. Remember, we ended off yesterday pointing out again that when the disciples found them in the storm, they woke Jesus and he turned to them and he said, "Where is your faith?" Well, we read that in Mark chapter 4, verse 38 through 39. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat. Come on, Jesus is in your life. And sometimes he's just, well, he's chilling, waiting for you to react. Because again, I believe Jesus knew exactly what was going to take place. I believe Jesus knew that they were going to hit a storm. And so Jesus said, well, I'm going to take a pillow, I'm going to move to the back, I'm going to have a little bit of a snooze, I'm going to relax, and I want to see what these guys are going to do. Sometimes, again, things happen in our life, and God is waiting for us to exercise our authority. Come on, that is what he's waiting for. Exercise your authority over that what the enemy is trying to throw at you. Remind him of your life. Remind him of the security, God, that you have in God. Remind him that your doorposts are covered in the blood of the Lamb. Your life is saturated with the blood of the Lamb. This is what you're doing. You need to remind him. How often do you remind the enemy that God is in control of your situation, but yet so often we struggle and we hand over control to God? Look what happened. Jesus woke up. He rebuked the wind. Why are you afraid? He turns to his disciples. Why are you afraid of your tomorrow? Man, let me tell you, so many people are afraid of what is happening. The war in Israel. People are becoming fearful of what is happening in the war in Israel and the wars that are happening all around the world. They are worried and concerned about life. Yeah, we're all concerned about life. We're concerned about the petrol prices. We're concerned about the inflation that is taking place, the food, the meat. We're concerned. We have concern, but we must never allow fear to take root within our lives. Why? Because Jesus will turn to you and say, do you have no faith? When we in that situation, he's going to turn around and say, do you have no faith in that what I accomplished on your behalf on the cross of Calvary? That I faced the wrath of God on your behalf. I took on the judgment that you should have taken on. I've taken on your behalf. I've dealt with the enemy. Enemy is dealt with. So come on, where is your faith? Learn how to rebuke him. You see, I don't know what storm you are facing in your life, but I know that there is only one person that can calm your storm, and his name is Jesus Christ. I've watched this program on the storm chasers. No way. I will not go with those guys. I've been caught in many storms. You hear what I'm saying? And I do not like storms. I do not like thunderstorms. I don't like the hail when it falls. I don't like these things when there's loud thunder and lightning. It kind of becomes kind of fearful. And sometimes we get into that fear mode because the enemy is launching attacks from every side. You see, when Jesus was on his way to the cross, he faced the storm of his own. He stops over in the garden. That's where it all started. Notice that. On his way to the cross, he stops over there in the garden, has a prayer meeting with the Father. He has a pit stop with the Father. He settles down. We need to sometimes just settle down, calm ourselves, come back to the Father, just like Jesus came back to the Father in the garden, knowing that any moment those soldiers are going to come over the hill. They're going to attack him. They're going to arrest him. They're going to drag him off to the cross. And listen to what his prayer in Luke 22:42. Listen to what he says. He says, my Father. How do we start our prayer? Our Father. He says, my Father, if possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. How many of you know that God at times tests us through the storms that we find ourselves in? That Jesus, the greatest storm chaser of all humanity, asked the Father to reveal his will. What is the will of God for your life? You see, when in a spiritual storm, how many take time to arrange a meeting with Father God before we involve ourselves with others in our situation? Jesus had 12 disciples. He brought 3 a little further with him. Leaving the 3, he went alone to the Father. You see, we can only come alone to the Father and there ask the Father to help us through the storms that we're going to face. So what am I trying to say to you on this Wednesday? It's time for you to come back to God.